So the field I'm working on here now is right off the main hay field. We're just extending it. I'm cleaning up this point. There's a pretty good hollow that forms here, and I'm cleaning up this whole area around this point. And we're just right now, for now, to save time, I've been pushing the brush off to the edge of that hollow. That hollow's probably close to 100 feet deep, straight out in front of us there. There's a pretty good rock ledge. And I mean, it gets deep quick, because right here where the pond's at, the little hollow's only maybe 10, 12 feet deep, and then in this short amount of space, to about right there, it gets over 100 feet deep. So we're just pushing all this vegetative growth and stumps off to the edge of the field right now, and I will deal with the brush and everything later on, because it's out of my productive area for now. Actually at the Kubota dealer this morning, talking with them. If you're close enough and it's feasible to deal with Kubota of Chattanooga, they've been great to work with so far. I'm not endorsed or sponsored by them or nothing, but they've been great with me so far, and we're working with them on updating all of our farm equipment, and hopefully be a good partnership going forward for a number of years. But like I say, if you can, go down and check them out. They've been really good to me. I don't think you'd be disappointed. I've got a video that'll be coming up with a new piece of equipment, and I'll go in depth on how important it is picking a dealer and working with a dealer that'll actually stand behind you. And then sometimes it's not even just the dealer, it's the brand. And we'll go in a lot more depth about that when it comes time, but I want that piece of equipment to be here first, so I can introduce that new piece of equipment and give a backstory on it and everything we've been through, and how important it is to pick a manufacturer and a dealer that will stand behind you. Like I say, and if they're not great in the future, I'll let you know that as well. Stumps. It's rained a lot the last couple of days, so this ground's extra soft. It don't make some of the stumps any easier to get out, but it does make a difference on the machine balancing. Like right there where you can see me moving back and forth quite a bit, that's from I was sitting in that last stump hole that I just dug out, so I didn't have good footing, so to speak. Turn the heat down a little bit in here. It's getting hot. This little, well, this 057 has a phenomenal air conditioner heater system on it. Water just oozing out of that stump. They're saturated. See, that's a stump I missed on the way down. I didn't see it. And on the way back, I see it here. Hopefully I can get that out of our productive area. That's about a 14-inch wide oak stump, just to give you perspective on how stout this little machine is. That's not little, but for this size and class of excavator, that was digging a 14-inch wide oak stump out, and actually on the wrong side. I didn't even have my blade in front of me. I was digging over the drive sprockets. You always should have dig over the idle sprockets, but sometimes when I can catch it on the way back, I just go ahead and do it. It's not very often, but probably more than I should be. I try to make every pass as productive as possible. Because what I've done when I get in here clearing these fields, since there's so much overgrowth and everything and I can't see, I'm just putting my blade down and making a new pass the width of the blade, and that's a little over 6 feet. Stump I left out on yesterday is giving me a fit and would not come out. I mean, I was giving it everything this machine had, and just a little moisture in the ground overnight and a different angle. You seen how easy that just come out. A pretty good little stump pile going here, and it could just push down before we get too excited and end up building a brush pile. Trying to keep the window defrosted. It's real cool here today, rainy, so I'm fighting, trying to get the temperature balanced out to keep the windows from frosting up too much or fogging up. Gets muddy like this. Usually you'd be making more of a mess than you are progress with as much sage grass and everything as I have here, though. I'm not muddying the ground up too bad, which I'm not working the dirt a lot. I'm just working enough to push through with my blade lowered and get all the stumps and roots out I can and leftover wood waste. So right here we're coming up. I don't know how good this will show up in the video, but right here where this pile is right on the edge of a big drop off, and I'm just pushing the brush to the edge of the field where we can turn this field productive for this season coming. But right out in front here, that maple tree's blocking a lot of it. It's just a straight drop off. And this brush pile's right on that edge where I can't really make the ground productive. The cows and sheep and everything will go down in there once we allow them to. But this year coming, or this spring coming, all this clearing we're doing here is set to be planted in alfalfa, unless I change my mind between now and then. You can see how much we went down. Right here is about level, and you can see how much we're actually facing downhill. So I know the video don't really give a lot of perspective, but you just have to take my word for it. It turns into pretty steep ground really quick. That brush pile that's smoking there, that's the one from the last video where I'd set it on fire. All of it burnt down, and I ended up stacking some more brush there to try to burn it off, and it's been smoldering now for a day or so. Some of it's burned off, but like I say, we've had a lot of rain. So this is, you can see here in front of me, right there where my bucket is, well, right there where my bucket is about the top of the brush, and a lot of that's blackberries and briars, and a lot of the tree regrowth. But that's about 7 foot or 8 feet of growth that we're pushing off. And like that big maple, or that little maple sapling there, that's close to a 12-foot tall tree already. So that kind of gives you an idea of what we're working in. This is what it looks like to start with, and by the time we get done clearing, there's not too much left. And I'm just using the blade right now in float mode to float the ground and find stumps and push off some of this brush. Started here, I'll more than likely just burn this in place instead of pushing it off to the edge, because there's a lot of stumps that I need to burn, and there's enough wood residual like I'm picking up here to pile up to make a fire hot enough to burn all these stumps. So ever so often I'll stack a pile, especially for that I know that I'm going to burn it off, and then once it gets burned down about 60%, I'll restack it and then start stacking stumps to burn. Stumps are one of the hardest things to get rid of. The name of the game on them is to make absolutely sure you get as much dirt out of the root system as you can. If you do that, they burn up really well. They do take longer to burn, but you know, stacking them right and stacking them tight and persistence is the best advice I can give on any stumps.